Danie the Pitbull van Heerden. Danie, how are you doing, sir? It's been a very long time. We always catch up at events, but for the first time ever, you're right here in studio.
For the first time ever, it's holiday and the gym is closed, so I can actually be here.
But also, more importantly, you're in the final throes of your build-up camp to a return, should I say, to the fight arena. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that a bit later. But I suppose the first question I have to ask, especially where the gym's based, how was the passport? How was border control getting all the way here?
Well, to get all the way here, I actually had to get 2 passports because I come all the way from Vereeniging. I don't know if someone know where Vereeniging is, but yeah, all the way from Vereeniging. Then to Centurion to SFL for the shoot and the interview there, and from Centurion all the way here. So it's basically 2 passports just to get here.
And what was passport control like? Did they treat you with the requisite amount of respect that a former champion deserves?
Definitely. As I walked in, it's just hashtag celebrity perks and it just helped out.
Great to hear that. So, but Danie, first thing, for a lot of listeners to the show, never heard of you, may not have heard of you, don't know the story. Pitbull. Talk to me about the name Pitbull and where Danie the Pitbull van Heerden comes from.
Just, you want me to start when I was a lighty?
I love that word.
Well, let's start. My father was he would have fought Pierre Coetzee for the SA title in boxing, 1981.
Wow.
He would have fought Pierre Coetzee and then picked up a street fight and they suspended his license. So from there he started security and he basically aimed us all into boxing, believe it or not, but yeah, boxing. I think I was the only boy out of 13 kids that probably didn't like boxing because according to my father you had to run basically 24/7. If you don't run, you're not a fighter, and running was difficult for me. I only run to the kitchen when I'm hungry, so
running was difficult and still is.
It still is.
Yeah.
It still is. I think it's this thing in my head now because of the father thing. So yeah, running is difficult unless it's on a PlayStation or running to the kitchen when you're hungry, as I said. Otherwise running is tough. Okay, well, let's go on. So from there we had to do boxing. So we had to run from school to the house, back. Once you get home, or once I'm done, because I was the biggest and the fattest out of all of the brothers. So the time I'm done, the rest already did the homework and they eat their dinner. And from there we go to boxing club. Come back, then I'm super tired. Yeah, then you eat, didn't do homework, you do it the next day. And yeah, probably I was the only one who hated boxing. From there I moved to wrestling in 2006.
Okay.
That I loved because in wrestling you can actually do anything, sort of. Unlike MMA. but in boxing is jab, hook, uppercut and a bit of movement, most of the time. In wrestling you can actually do a bit more, so you don't get boring. And yeah, I moved to wrestling. My father hated it. I loved it though because it was the only way out of hard training.
Let's be honest. Did you love it because your dad hated it?
I think so, yes. I think so because then I had to motivate myself for that. So yeah, I moved to wrestling. Well, he put us in karate and kickboxing and all of that stuff. But for me, wrestling was personally the best because once you think you know something, the next day you learn something new. So yeah, then from there, we actually read an article about MMA, Ring of Fire, 2008 to 9, I don't know if you remember that, where Jeremy, the Pitbull Smith, started in Daniels, those type of guys. So yeah, I read it in an article, and they explained to me, they explained it as it's basically like a school fight, and school fights I did throughout my life. I think that's the way I passed school, but in any case.
You got an A+ in those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So from there, I went to try it out at James Mark in Val Park, 2009, way back. I tried it out and I loved it. My first fight was Brandon Dean. You guys still remember Brandon?
Yes.
Because now I'm a 21-year-old youngster, lighty, thinking I can obviously beat up everyone. Now I know it, but then I thought, and then I meet Brandon Dean. So he's got muscles, he's got tattoos, he's got chains, and he's got the pit crew that fits the whole fighting scene. And I'm the lighty, seeing this guy, he's standing next to me, but I'm too scared to look at him. So I search him on Facebook, and I see more muscle pics on Facebook. So I actually think, this guy can probably fight. I need to get out of this fight. It was at XFC 2009. So I'm thinking how to get out of this fight, and James and Mark said, I'm not getting out of this fight. So I said, but I've got a stomach ache, I'm sick, I'm all of that, and nothing helped. Yeah, and we went to fight. I beat him in 2 minutes, 56 seconds because he sweared me. And I took it personal, although he said he didn't, but I know he did. And yeah, from there I'm hooked.
Sure, and that's how the Pitbull came about and how the Pitbull is now stuck.
Actually, the Pitbull started, I did pro wrestling as well. So I did any sport. I did pro wrestling, I did boxing, I did kickboxing, I did everything. And I think more because I do not give up. So whether it's in life or in fighting or whatever, if I put my mind to it, I will do it. It doesn't matter who says what or how difficult it is, I will do it. So that's how I decided Pitbull.
In the days when you were progressing up the ladder in the EFC, eventually fought your way right to the top, becoming EFC Heavyweight Champion. That title then stripped from you by the EFC. How has life been since the EFC?
Oh, where do we start? So since EFC, which I call the undisputed heavyweight champ, hasn't been beaten before.
We haven't been beaten yet, yeah.
Haven't been beaten yet. So from there, I've moved to a last fighter standing, which also happened in October. I fought a guy from Russia. Apparently 40 fights, 38 wins, 2 losses. Reiners, whoever his name was. But yeah, beating me in first round, 1 minute 20 seconds. So LFS was fun. It's a pretty, LFS stands for last fighter standing for the guys I do not know. But yeah, that was fun. From there, I actually moved to boxing. So I'm also on the box rec though. I've got 1 win and 2 or 3 draws. Boxing for me personally is a difficult game. You actually have to be running fitly. So you actually have to think. You only got your hands to work with. So if I would compare the sports, I would rather choose MMA. You've got more ammo to use than boxing. Yeah, from there I went to K1. Moved to K1. This would be my debut now at SFL. So thanks for the guys giving me the opportunity there. Looking forward to come back into the fighting game. I started a few businesses. I had opened a gym, but the gym has been going on since 2012. So the gym has been going good. Started a lawn mowing company, Pitbull Garden Service in the Val. I've also started a promotion company, Danie Pitbull Promotions. So yeah, life from there has been going good from that point of view. Other than that, been going through a divorce, been buggered up your mind. My father got shot and killed 27th of December on my boy's birthday, 3rd birthday. So from there, all of a sudden, everything just went downhill. It was tough to get my mind back straight, back on focusing, back on training though. Yeah, I'm still busy coping with that. Mine's been getting ready or better, let me say it that way, thanks to some of my close friends. They're helping a lot. The gym, the guys at the gym, they also help a lot, keep your mind off it. The family, I must say, a lot of us came closer, which wasn't always like that, and some of the others didn't, but yeah, that's probably life. I must say, one good thing of my father's death,
if there can ever be.
If there can ever be, but to me, to get back into training and fitter than what I normally were, that was one good thing, because to get my mind back to motivation and started training, I mean, because I was out on MMA for 3 years, boxing 2 years. So yeah, that really motivated me to get back into training, into fighting, just to not just prove to myself I can do it, but also probably prove to my father, not that he's here, but I know that he's probably looking still. So yeah.
So obviously a very traumatic time for the Van Heerden family, but like you say, some components of the family have come together, become a lot stronger. One of the key components that I've been watching very, very closely is your brother's reaction, Chris Van Heerden's reaction to this. Obviously he flew out of the States to come down to the funeral, but he's been very, very vocal in terms of the actual event, the outcome, the trial that's been going on. sorry, if you can give us a quick update, what's happening there with regards to the trial?
Well, it's been postponed again till the 5th of April. So it's been postponing every day or every time.
This is the third time.
Third time, yeah, for further note or further investigation. So far nothing yet, but let's hope for the best.
Absolutely. Hopefully justice will be done. But obviously coming back to your brother, he's committed his training camp, he's committed all of his future fights, obviously in memory of your dad, and staying with your brother. Fantastic performance by him this weekend up until that headbutt.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the way up to round 6, I think he schooled him properly. And yeah, then the headbutt happened, they called the fight. So yeah, easy paycheck for him.
Absolutely. Yeah. But definitely looking at that fight, watching the highlights as well after the fact, I mean, the highlights reel literally looks like a Danie van Heerden training video.
Perfect, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. So, big up. I know Chris is not listening, but once the video podcast goes out, definitely I know he will be tuning in to have a listen to this. So, well done, Chris. Hopefully we get an opportunity to chat to you following that great fight. Pity it didn't go 100% your way, but I think nonetheless, I think everybody knows that you beat him hands down, had the fight ended properly right there.
I think the W win, or the W means a lot though. Although that was his promotion he always wanted to move into since he moved to the States. And yeah, him and my father said, you know what, you're going to make it to there. And pity my father isn't there to witness that, but yeah, it actually happened. He's there.
Obviously must excite you because now we get to see a lot more top-end combat sports right here in your living room, on your couch, not having to do all the dodgy things that we had to do in the past. This weekend's big fight, Anthony Pettis up against Wonder Boy. What was that? Second round, Superman KO. Haven't seen one of those in a very long time.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal punch there.
Those kind of punches as an MMA athlete, and you know, once again, as a former heavyweight MMA athlete, are those the kind of things you actually train, or does that just happen on the spur of the moment?
Well, personally, I've never done a Superman punch. I think we've used too much energy there. But yeah, I would say you would actually have to go and do it. Dricus du Plessis, I've been training with him maybe once or twice, but I know he's phenomenal in it. So yeah, but other than heavyweights, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So obviously the big news there was that Pettis moved up to welterweight very unexpectedly, and I suppose for the duration of the fight, many people thought that Wonder Boy had this in the bag. And yeah, you know what they say in combat sports, it takes just one punch. And in this instance, a Superman punch, KO, knockout, cold. And yeah, I know we're sitting now, what is it, the 26th of March. We're not even in April yet, but I can almost guarantee you, when we start talking about knockouts of the year in December, this guy is going to be part and parcel of that mix. I'm almost certain of it.
That would definitely be so.
The other big news over the last week, I think TJ Dillashaw testing positive and immediately vacating his belt. Your thoughts, first of all, haven't had a chance to chat to you. We've spoken sort of privately, but let's talk about it live on radio. Your thoughts on drugs, PEDs in combat sports?
Well, personally, I would, how do you call it? I personally do not use any of that. It's maybe, I see it as cheating now. So why use it to win the fight, which probably money pays the bills, but yeah, I would personally say that's cheating.
Your thoughts on John Jones, this picogram nonsense that one test he's got it, the next test he doesn't, the next test he's got it, the next test he doesn't, and then still being allowed to fight? Surely, if there's drugs in your system, doesn't matter whether there is an impact or not, you're cheating.
Definitely.
Okay, so you like me, he's a cheat.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I love it when I follow other people's thoughts as well.
Likewise.
The idea that Dillashaw immediately vacated the title, didn't even put up a fight, you think that is the actions of a guilty conscience or the actions of a man that wants to keep the sanctity of a championship belt?
Well, I would say if I know him more personally, I would be able to answer that more truthfully. But on a personal opinion, I would say it's probably a guilty conscience. That's what I would say. I mean, why not fight for it? After all, they say you're not guilty until proven guilty. So why just vacate it and go?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he is doping. It was now caught doping, and I think it goes back to 2017. Cody Nolov already called him out, saying he does everything. He even taught us how to do it. Now he's been caught.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And then the final news that broke at 7:18. Yeah, and I know the time specifically because I was sitting on the morning drive this morning. 7:18 this morning, Conor McGregor announces his retirement from mixed martial art. Again.
Marketing.
You reckon it's marketing?
Marketing. Look at Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he's one of the best boxers in the world. He knows how to market. I mean, after all, media is a big thing. And Conor McGregor is the biggest name in MMA. So I would say marketing. Marketing, definitely.
Marketing. So let's talk marketing. Let's talk SFL 5. It is the return of the Pitbull to competitive combat sports. You are debuting as a K1 kickboxer in the SFL ring. No cage this time. The build up to this fight, initially promoted as a clash of the former MMA titans, yourself versus Tumelo Maputa. That's fallen by the wayside. Your opponent now is Herman Gifpoort Oberholzer. He is the current African Heavyweight Champion. The change in opponent for you, has it changed your fight camp, your training camp up to now?
Not really. I mean, Gifpoort's got an Afrikaans nickname. Who's kilo late? Well, I would say Tumelo would have been a more difficult fight. I mean, I did fought him once before. And the one thing about Tumelo, he doesn't quit. Doesn't matter how hard you hit him, he doesn't quit. The time I fought him, I was out for 13 months. I broke my wrist, and it was my first fight back. And he doesn't quit. He's like me. I do not quit. And now I fight Herman Gifpoort Oberholzer. It was actually there in English. I think it would be more scary though.
What, poison foot?
Yeah, poison foot.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need to chat to him on WhatsApp. Do we need to use the naughty face or the naughty feet? I'm not sure. But in any case, I'm using the green guy for the smelly one.
Yes, sure. yeah.
But in any case, I don't know him personally. I've seen one or two movies with SFL post. His feet look fast, but it's funny me though. It's funny me. So I would personally say it's going to be a difficult time for him. I think it's going to be an easy one for me. The weight cut off came down from 138 kilos.
What?
138.
Okay, now just reveal, what are you now?
112.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maths there says 26 kilograms.
I think so. Let me get a calculator. I didn't have maths at school. I left it at standard 7.
26 kilograms.
26 kilograms.
Wow.
Yeah. Not even my ex-wife could get me to lose weight. And now, Tumelo come in and he makes me lose weight. So now, he steps out and Herman comes in.
Makes you lose even more weight?
Not even. No, we signed at 94.7 kilogram plus, so it's super heavyweight.
Okay.
So, meaning, we do not have to have the catch weight at 110 because that's what I signed with Tumelo. But it doesn't matter how much I eat, I stay on that weight because I train a bit. So yeah.
Wow. Herman Gifpoort, poison foot Oberholzer.
Yeah.
The big thing for SFL 5, something that we haven't seen with SFL ever, so it's absolutely new for them. The 8-man elimination tournament for the light middleweight title. And the interesting component around this 8-man title fight is the fact that every single fighter, well, first of all, let me rephrase it. To win, you have to have won 3 fights on the night. So literally, you win your first fight, you go through to the semi-finals. You win the next fight, you're in the final. It is the final fight of the night as I understand it. And the final fight of the night will reveal who the light a middleweight champion will be of SFL. So the idea there, get in, win fast, and not suffer any injuries.
And get out.
Yeah.
And the bad thing about this, it's probably going to be entertaining, but me and Herman are main cards. We have to sit there, wait for all this fights happening, and then fight. So I'm going to try not to be tired, but if you guys see me sleeping, take a selfie and post it, because I'm probably going to rest.
The camp for you, in terms of going into this fight, bearing in mind that it is a K1 fight, and the last number of camps you've been part and parcel of being MMA fights, has it been fundamentally different, focusing only on two aspects of the combat sports game?
I wouldn't say really different. Although MMA you can do a low kick below the knee, K1 only on top of the knee. So once you clinch, it's a 30-second thing. You're only allowed to either do one punch or a knee, as far as I understand. But yeah, that's the most of it that's different. Other than doing the normal stand-up, that's lekker. I mean, I've been Ferdi Basson is helping me there at Junkyard MMA. And the nice thing, once we have that minute break, we do some MMA. So for the guys that's supposed to rest, we do MMA. That's my way of resting. Yeah, then also train at James van Heerden SFL there in Wal Park, which is then only stand-up. So it's fun, it's something different. It keeps your mind busy.
And looking forward to the fight, what obviously comes with a huge reputation in terms of those kicks. Like you said, you've seen a couple of the clips from previous fights. Obviously, you've worked out how to counter that and possibly get in a little bit closer into the pocket. But you're a fighter that's known throughout your entire MMA career. I've known you as someone with one heck of a jaw. He's going to have to get past that jaw if he has any chance of winning this fight. That's the way I see it. Your thoughts?
Well, personal opinion, it must be all of the eating. My jaw works over time. So,
so it's a lot of practice.
Yeah, and I mean, Tumila was a KO king. He knocked out what was the guy's name? Chris Weber in 9 seconds. And he couldn't stop me in 3 rounds. So, yeah, Gifput must probably try to kick harder instead of faster. I mean, this is not Taekwondo though. But let's see what happens on the night.
Danie, looking forward to things after Saturday night. Your thoughts in terms of your fight career? I mean, is it now to focus more on the K1, to ultimately work yourself up to a challenge fight against Jan Bachman?
Well, let's say this way. I took this K1 fight just to get the rust out. I mean, 2 years, just to get that rust off. So K1 will probably continue. I mean, getting titles in all the sports. Why not? Why not? But there was more focus to get the rust off. And I'm looking to compete overseas back in MMA again. I mean, that's my life. That's the fun of it, the MMA sport. So the K1 would be to keep the rust off and keep a bit active till I get the fights there overseas. And
any prospects in terms of overseas promotions looking at you at the moment? You don't have to reveal details. Just
yes, there's 3 at the moment. Just looking for one with the best purses, and Dylan Ace is helping me with that. So you're doing the MMA side, and then James Mark doing the K1 side. So I'm looking forward to it.
Like, so an exciting future ahead still in combat sports for the Pitbull. Looking at your gym, you said obviously going backwards to 2012, you opened up Pitbull Dojo. Quick question, I know we were talking before the show. I get the sense, and I'd just like to sort of bounce it off you, I get the sense that in South African MMA, the number of youngsters coming through, the amateur talent, the new amateur talent coming through in MMA has ground to a halt. Your thoughts?
I wouldn't disagree. I would rather agree. I think the lighties of today, they don't have that heart to push through. I mean, they probably receive 1 or 2 movies about fighting, and then it's so easy, and then they get into the gym. By the 3rd session, it's like, okay, you know what, let's rather go to Virgin Active. It's better to take a selfie and rest 5 minutes and train 1 instead of your MMA. There you train 5 minutes and rest 1, so there's no time for selfies, basically. But yeah, I think everybody thinks this is an easy game, and it's not. I mean, one-man sports, I would say. One-man sports is not an easy game.
And looking at the kids that you are training at the moment, the sense I get is that a lot of those kids are coming in, first of all, for self-defense reasons. The levels of bullying in schools is just going through the roof. A lot of parents bringing their sons and daughters into MMA gyms, combat sports gyms, to get a little bit more, build a bit of confidence and give them a skill set. But not many of them are taking it to the next level with the intent of becoming amateur fighters.
Exactly, yeah, that's what it's all about. My personal opinion about the bullying, it will probably never stop. It's like politics, it will never stop. It will continue and continue. And yeah, I think it's all how you react to bullying. I mean, if someone pulls you a bad mouth, there's a way of answering for them not to have anything to say after that. It's not that they say the bully is wrong or the other guy is wrong, but bullies are jealous because of the guys that cannot fight. So they're either more clever or more friends or whatever. They can communicate more, let me say it that way. And then the bully probably can't. Or it's not just about that, it's more personal stuff at home, which happen at home, which we do not know as parents ourselves. Yeah, there's stuff we do to our kids that works on them, and then they use that for how can I say?
A way out.
A way out.
Yeah.
To get it out. But yeah, then you get into the gym. Gym is a whole different way to get all that anger and frustration out. So yeah, then.
So you're also seeing that obviously in your gym, a lot of this happening. Like I've been witnessing in many of the other gyms and a lot of the other guys that I've been talking to. Wow, very, very interesting insight there coming from Danie van Heerden. Danie, and obviously we've got about 5 minutes left of the show. Just your thoughts on combat sports athletes, in particular South African combat sports athletes. We spoke at the beginning a little bit about Chris, your brother, what he's doing, flying the South African flag overseas in the States, in Vegas. DJ Kriel, another notable young up-and-coming, I mean, already world champion. He was in the studio literally last week. Kevin Lorena, Boyd Allen. I mean, Boyd Allen has fought on many cards with you, on many EFC cards that you've sat in the crowd. Combat sports in South Africa, your view on where it's at the top levels. We've obviously spoken about the bottom levels. There's not much coming through. Your thoughts on it at the top levels?
Personal opinion, compared it to overseas sports or overseas payments, let me just rephrase, it's not even close. But I would personally say the South African athletes, there's a lot more war for the guys to compete overseas. The only thing which we do not have training partners. For example, I'm a heavyweight. So I walk into a gym, if I get another heavyweight, I'm lucky. If you're overseas, you walk into a gym, there's 10 heavyweights. So then you can actually train according to your weight. So you look better. Yeah, you train with the guys weighing 60, 70, maybe 80 if you're lucky. So you think you're fit, but then you get and you fight your own weight. You realize, you know what, I'm not fit. And it's not a lack of potential, I would say it's a lack of training partners. So yeah, I really do think we as South African, we got the talent, we just do not have the training partners. And the money, the purses. South Africa pays, yeah. So if it's not for the sponsors that helps us, I would not see any of the professional athletes get anywhere without the sponsors.
Money obviously has always been a big problem. I mean, chatting to DJ Kriel literally a week ago, he was also talking about the fact that money is the big motivating factor that moved him across to the States to base himself there. Yes, he's still a South African fighter, but it was about getting those bigger purses and fighting for the big titles. Do you think it'll ever change here in South Africa? Those big purses come the athletes' way?
No. I don't think it would change. If it changes, it's not going to happen in the next, say, 10, 15, maybe 20 years. I personally do not see it happening. No.
Why do you think?
I think our economic system is out the door. and our politicians, there's too much disagreement. I mean, it's not just in politics, but in sports. In sports, automatically, is a lot of politics. So, my personal opinion, I would rather think the promoters want more for themselves than to look after the fighter. Like overseas, they look after the fighters, and yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, there you have it from the former champion himself, former EFC heavyweight, and as he said at the outset, in terms of his introduction, undisputed, undefeated. So yeah, Danie van Heerden giving us his thoughts not only on how things are going family-wise, what's happening at the K1 level, status of combat sports in the country, and obviously the financial recompense that athletes in this country get to put their lives on the line every single fight. So much more we can chat about with Danie. Geez, I mean, the conversations we have at events, I'm looking forward to seeing him back in the school holidays again, hopefully, because of the gym that he's got to run. But most certainly chat to him on Saturday night at SFL 5. I do understand there's still tickets available, SFL 5?
Yes, there are still tickets available, and you guys, you can either get online or you can buy at the door. So yeah, they will be selling tickets at the door as well.
So come through. It's the 8-man elimination tournament along with the former EFC heavyweight champion in action at SFL 5. That's at Barnyard, Rivonia, Saturday night. I think it all kick starts at 6, but we will build up to that on Friday night.